It's April 27 and today in Philippine history, Filipino revolutionaries set the town of Macabebe ablaze and trapped 300 townspeople inside the San Nicolas de Tolentino Church in 1899. Share ko lang, my mom's family, who hailed from Bulacan, had a distrust of people from Pampanga that I chalked up to regionalism and irrational biases. Pero may historical origin pala yun. For generations, the people of Pampanga, more specifically of Macabebe, carried the heavy label of traitors or dugong aso. They were accused of siding with Spain and were later blamed for the capture of Emilio Aguinaldo. But I read this book by Ian Christopher Alfonso and it tells a more complex story. So balikan natin. In the middle of the Philippine-American War, General Antonio Luna had ordered a sangre y fuego or sword and fire campaign, burning towns and churches to deny the Americans shelter. Yet Macabebe was singled out. Why? Because of figures like Eugenio Blanco, who was loyal to Spain. That made his town a target. General Maximino Hizon, who was himself a son of Pampanga, demanded that Blanco surrender to Aguinaldo's forces. When he did not, Macabebe paid the price. Parang collective punishment. Isang tao ang gusto nilang parusahan pero buong bayan ang nadamay. Inside the San Nicolas de Tolentino Church, 300 people were herded and burned. Accounts from General Frederick Funston, Aguinaldo's captor, and photographs by Luther Parker, who eventually became a teacher in Arayat after the war, confirmed the tragedy. Families begged for mercy, but the flames consumed both their lives and livelihoods. It was not just a military act. It was a psychological warfare meant to break a community. This tragedy led those who survived to band with Americans to form the Macabebe Scouts and to seek justice for their town, turning the town's population against Aguinaldo's revolutionary government. Voices like Apolinario Mabinis reminded us to be objective. In his essay Seamos Justos, or Let Us Be Fair, Mabini condemned the practice of branding all Macabebes as traitors. He wrote, "For the sake of those good Macabebes, we should respect the name of the town that gave them birth. Let us not rob them of the chance to repair the damage and restore their honor." Even in the heat of revolution, Mabini saw the injustice of collective blame. Ian Alfonso's book, The Burning of Macabebe, digs deep into primary sources, revolutionary records, memoirs, newspapers, to show that the town's fate was shaped by geography, politics, and the divide-and-conquer strategies of colonial masters. Macabebe sat at the mouth of Manila Bay, a strategic location. Since the late 1500s, history saw the Macabebes as pragmatic, sometimes siding with Spain, sometimes resisting, always trying to survive. The burning of Macabebe was a tragedy, yes, but prejudice can linger long after the flames die out. For a century after the revolution, the town lived under the shadow of traitor. But with historical scholarship, their stories being retold. Empires may burn towns, but they cannot burn dignity. At sa huli, ang alaala ng Macabebe ay kwento ng katatagan. O diba?
Meow meow.